Okay, so I can see where the hype for OnePlus is coming from. They promise you flagship specs for a mid-range price. So let's take a look if it lives up to the expectations. If we look at the exterior of the phone, we can see that I can hold it in my hand quite easily. So even though it is a bit of a bigger phone, it's easy to hold because it's thin enough. So for most of you, this phone will sit perfectly in your hands. For me, it's still a tiny bit big, but I could get used to it, so that would not be a problem. Also, I love the exterior design. Yes, it looks exactly like the Apple's, but if you take a closer look, the back is curved and it has this horizon line that is just... There's a line on the side of the phone and it makes it look so beautiful and so sleek and polished. Also, that makes it sit in your hands a lot nicely. Of course it's slippery, so you should add a case. I had a nice carbon fiber case and that looked quite amazing. The carbon fiber was amazingly well made. On the exterior we have your normal volume button, wake up button, and also notification button, which has a bit of a different feeling to it, so you can find it really easily and really quickly. It has a dual SIM card slot, so you can put 2 SIM cards in if you want to. It has a headphone jack, yay! I really miss it on my iPhone, so I will put an emphasis on every phone that has a headphone jack. It has a USB Type-C charging port, so you can use it with any USB Type-C charger. It comes with dash charging, that is their way of fast charging, and it is fast. They say it's 2 or 3 times faster than the Samsung S8, and I would quite agree with that. It's kind of great. You just plug it in and it charges, and even if you're running out of battery, that's not such a big problem if you always have this charger and cable with you. Another thing that really surprised me was the packaging of the phone. We are used to slick, sexy packets that open up nicely and so on and so forth, but you are usually expecting that with an iPhone. Your unboxing experience is amazing. But this time, Chinese OnePlus totally knocked me off of my feet. First of all, it's red and white, and I really like this combination, and they used it so perfectly. The cable was inside so nicely. There was even a tiny postcard picture inside. It really made an impression on me. I don't know why, I don't know how. I was just like, wow, this is a lot nicer than the iPhone. And I feel like we're getting bored of the iPhone unboxing experience. Therefore, we come to my second point, and that is the battery. The battery held up quite nicely, especially when I was not using the phone. The phone was almost not dropping any charge, which I loved. Apart from that, I could easily use it throughout the day, which is all that is really important to me, and I was finishing the day with about 30% left on the battery. So no need really for 2 charges, and I can be quite a heavy user of the battery. But yeah, I can imagine that if you have like a lot of screen on time and a lot of calls and a lot of battery consumption, that this phone could die on you. But I mean like really the extremes, you know? I have my Bluetooth on, Wi-Fi on, I get 3 or 4 calls a day, something like that. And I do a lot of gaming, social media, and that kind of stuff throughout the day, and also navigation, about 1 hour altogether of navigation in a day, and it held up nicely, so I give it a big plus for that. If we look at the exterior again, when it comes to sound, you have one tiny little speaker on the bottom of the phone, and it does sound good, don't get me wrong, the speaker does sound good, so that is not a problem. The problem I have with it is that I was often covering it with my fingers, especially with gaming. I would easily cover it up with my fingers, so you're losing sound if you're holding your phone vertically. Fingerprint scanner is super fast. I mean, it's not Huawei fast, but it is really, really fast. So that was a big plus for me because I like to use the fingerprint scanner to unlock my phone, and it was fast and it was easy, and I like that. The biggest surprise to me, and the biggest, also the biggest thing that stands out in the specs, is the processing power of this phone. The phone is a beast. When I first opened it up, when it was all clean and nice and near stock Androidish and with no apps on, It was so blazing fast. I could not believe it that a phone can open and close the apps so fast, and it can switch through different apps fast, and multitasking is wonderful. But when I started loading up my just the usual apps, you know, the Facebooks and the Messengers and YouTube Studios and so on and so forth, and Need for Speed, you know, you need to have your basic set of games on. I have found out that there was a little bit of a drop in performance, but I mean like a tiny bit. Apart from that, it was still a blazing fast phone with amazing processing power. So if you have processing power intensive apps, or you do processing intensive work on your phone, this is a great choice. I mean, the phone goes for around 500 euros. It's 500 euros for the small model and the 560, I think, for the 182 model. Yeah, links will be below, so yeah. It's not as cheap as it was in the beginning, but also the specs are a lot better and a lot higher than they were at the beginning. The stakes are higher. This phone is being compared to the biggest flagships of the day. This phone is being compared to the Samsung S8. It's being compared with iPhone 7s, even though iPhone 7s are just like not going even close to it. It's being compared to all the flagships of today, and of course it doesn't hold the flagship price, but it's pretty much there. But what about the camera, Kat? What do you think about the camera? Well, I think I'm gonna do a whole another video on the camera, because there's a lot to talk about and a lot to go through. So I'll just leave you with this for now, and if you don't want to miss the camera review, be sure to hit that bell beside the subscribe button. So first you have the subscribe button, then you hit the bell, so you get notified when this comes out really soon. But I want to take time and make a whole separate video to really go deep into the camera. Okay? I would really like to know your thoughts on the OnePlus 5, and if you think this is the amazing solution that everybody was waiting for, and where do you think this phone could also improve in the future? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you soon in the camera review. Bye!